Hello, and welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. So we're actually going to be taking on the third fight of the blue zone here against blue blue Kalkan Goku here. And the funny thing about him is he can actually have his attack debuffed. So we're going to be running GT bosses and just trying to make it so that he physically is unable to damage to us. As you can see, we have pretty much all of the characters that can do that. Just passively or through their super attack effects. So we're just gonna go ahead in here and see how things go. We should be perfectly fine, in my opinion. All right. Remember, this is one of the few fights where GT, Cell, and Frieza are actually able to use their full abilities. Now, passively, right, we are lowering Goku's attack by how much? GT, Cell, and Frieza lower it by... I'm trying to find it here. Doesn't seem like they lower it by anything, but they get more stats based on their attack and defense being lowered on the enemy, right? Omega passively lowers enemy attack by 25%, and then STR Omega lowers it by 40%. So already, just passively, we're lowering him by over 60% attack, and then we're going to do attacks to him, all of which will lower attacks on AGL Omega. I don't remember what STR Omega's super attack effect is, but... Oh, it just lowers defense. And then I don't have him easy aid, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I have him easy aid, but I don't have him, like, with the super attack up. It doesn't really matter, because I don't think Goku will be able to kill him with how much attack he's lost. If he does, it's whatever. I mean, it's still a 2 million damage super attack, right? It still might hurt. But we should have his attack lowered to the point where we're gonna be fine. I don't see how we can get any lower than this. And remember, if we are able to get... I believe they have another link that lowers attack. Oh, no, they don't. For some reason, I thought like one of the Shadow Dragon links lowered attack, but no, it doesn't. But yeah, we should be more than fine here. His attack is like in the dumpster. I think STR Omega would probably still die though. Preferably, we'd want him in like slot 3 or something, where we already had a few turns to lower his attack a bit. But that didn't happen, so we're just gonna have to hope that he doesn't get cooked. Yeah, he still takes a little bit of damage. Remember that if we do end up getting low at any point here, we're going to be able to pop Omega's revive. So we should, again, be completely fine. On this rotation, again, both of the Omega Shenrons are lowering attack passively by at minimum 20%. And then we're going to super attack and lower it again. So, needless to say, I think we're fine. This is gonna be probably a longer video, just because the GT bosses team really does no damage, right? It's very pitiful how much damage we're doing. There is a mission for this stage though, where you want to use a full extreme class like Rainbow Team, so one unit every single typing. I tried like looking at the options that I had available to me for GT bosses, and there just wasn't very many that were like good. So I didn't end up bringing pretty much any at all, mainly int units. There wasn't any good int units that I could have brought. I thought about bringing Oceanus, just because she is another Shadow Dragon, but she doesn't lower attack and defense at all. She doesn't really do too much. And then there's GT Cell, who again is just not very good. So I just didn't end up bringing anybody for int, and just decided, you know what, I'll just get another character that can lower attack and defense. How much is it gonna do? Honestly, I will take that. Oh yeah, now we can get Baby's transformation, which will make it so that he can't super attack. So we'll be able to lower his attack and defense. This is gonna be great. I'm having a great time. Because if he can't super us, that means he can't damage us. If he can't damage us, we can lower his attack and defense with both Omega and Baby. And if they get any double supers, they'll be able to lower it even further. And then next rotation, even though we have a tech unit and STR Omega, who's really old, will just revive if we die. And then what's Goku gonna do now? Nothing. He can double super, by the way. It is possible. But if his attack is in the dumpster, what's it gonna do? Nothing. Omega stocks are finally up. This is what I wanted. I wanted usages for Omega Shenron, and this is like the perfect use for him. I'm sure you could probably easily beat this with anything else, right? Because this Goku, it's just him, and you can just lower his attack a bunch, and you should be fine. But I wanted to be funny, kind of like how I wanted to run Turles in the first stage of the Blue Zone. It didn't end up working because Turles is just garbage, and it was really sad. And the only Turles on the friends list wasn't even like level 10, so he just died. So because he didn't have Big Bad Bosses actives ever, it was just terrible. But here, GT Bosses has actual units that are good, right? Omega is good, Baby is good, right? And a lot of the other units, they're only able to be good if they have their like their stuff active. So we're able to actually just do that now. Let's go ahead and pop the Omega active skill to lower his attack even more. I love it. I love it. I do have the majority of this team linked level 10. The only one who's not linked level 10 is STR Omega, just because I haven't gotten around to it. I'll probably do it at some point. His EZI2, by the way, is going to be cracked. Because if he is able to lower attack and defense like even more than he already is, he's going to be really, really strong. I can just sense it, right? Like, in events like this, STR Omega is absolutely insane. Because he just lowers it by so much. He was like the instant win strategy for the Extreme STR Super Battle Roads back in the day. Because, again, like, what is the enemy going to do if they're passively getting their attack lowered by 40%? That's just kind of ridiculous. And then on every single super attack we're doing, by the majority of this team, we're just even further lowering Goku's attack. It's just not, he's not going to be able to do anything. It's going to reach a certain point where he's going to be tickling us. His 2 million damage super attack is going to be doing like 50, right? It's going to happen at some point. Even like Tech Sin is going to be able to eat this super attack, which typically he would not. He would just explode and die, and it would be really sad. But we'll be fine. We'll be fine. All right. Guess what we're doing. I won't let you. I won't make you guys sit through it again. I'll just pop it here. But we're gonna get through them eventually. If it ends up getting to the point where we're in here for a while, like it's already been almost 10 minutes, right? I'll probably skip around. That way you guys don't have to sit through like 30 minutes of me whittling down this Goku with GT bosses. But I think it is still entertaining, right? Seeing the limits that you can push attack and defensive lowering. Again, these bosses are 12 million. Holy. All right, Omega guys, I get it, bro. I get it. But it gets to a point with these bosses where you can attack debuff them, where they start not getting very challenging. And now I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, this fight is still genuinely really hard," which I agree. I also think the same thing about the STR Vegito Blue in the like the whatever the one is that we got during the worldwide, the Divine Wrath Mortal Will fight. He is still legitimately really, really hard because that first turn is devastatingly powerful, and the same thing for this guy, right? Very similar fights, very similar mechanic. How much is it gonna do? Yeah, like that. That's a 2 million damage super attack, by the way. 2 million damage. And even he's not taking damage anymore. Yeah, like this is what I'm talking about. It will eventually get to the point where it doesn't matter. And some people are going to be like, oh, because this is possible in this fight, the fight's not very hard, and I get that. But if you're not intentionally cheesing it out with attack debuffing. Like if you're trying to run like a regular team that doesn't have access to a bunch of attack debuffs, this is not possible, right? Like if you're trying to run a regular team, you will be eating these 2 million damage super attacks twice and just getting frauded out, and it's not even gonna be your fault. Like what are you supposed to do about that, right? That first turn is by far the scariest turn. Like if we didn't have all the attack debuffs that we had on him, we would have, and he super attacked, we would have just died. It would have been over, right? And I can't like overlook that because this fight can be unfair. I've seen, I don't know what his cooldown is. What's his cooldown on a super attack? It's 5, and he does 8 attacks. So the chance that you actually do get hit by the double like gigaton bomb is very high. It is a blast-based super attack though, so you can nullify it with a couple characters. Gogeta, like pretty much most of the Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas, right? You can nullify it, but it's still gonna hurt. Oh, we have their active skill. You know what? Yeah, let's pop this and see what this looks like. I literally have never seen this in game, so let's just go ahead and pop this. Thanks, guys. Very helpful. Anyway, back to the fight. As I was saying, I do genuinely think this fight can be challenging, like significantly harder than a lot of people are giving it credit for. And that is because he just does so much damage, right? His stats are so goddamn high, especially after he super attacks more than once, right? His normals, like ow, by the way, and that's with all the debuffs, right? His normals do so much damage after he super attacks, it's kind of insane. Because he gets 50% attack on super attack. That basically makes him doing like 1 million damage normals, and if he does 2 of those, it's just kind of disgustingly powerful. We are in the sweet spot range for the GT Bosses team though, where if he does decide to kill us, we will be reviving and get back up to full HP, so we should be fine. Remember that this guy does also disable dodging, so you literally just can't dodge him. You're forced to just eat these super attacks and these normals, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think that's like another thing that you really gotta take into consideration. Not only is this guy disabling dodge, right, but he is doing stupidly high levels of damage with so much HP. So definitely do not take this guy lightly. If you want, cheese him the hell out. I think that's perfectly valid. You're gonna be in here for a while, and that's just how it's gonna be. But it's also kind of gonna be kind of entertaining, right? Like, when do you really get to use the GT Bosses team, right? Like, it doesn't happen, right? And this is a fun use for the GT Bosses team, and we're not even that like far into the video. It's only 13 minutes, right? I was gonna skip along, but like we're actually making pretty good progress. So it is what it is. Remember that since this guy is also a pure Saiyan because he's Goku, we're able to use Baby to the majority of his efficiency. The only way to actually get full efficiency out of Baby is to have both a pure Saiyan and a hybrid Saiyan enemy, which is just not possible pretty much ever. So that's almost never gonna happen. But we're able to use the majority of these units to their peak. Remember that when did STR Omega EZA? Because I want to know, because that's a unit that we're using in this fight, and he is terribly old. He came out in 2016, and his EZA was in 2019. It is 2024, and we're using him in an event, and he is working wonders. I'm just saying. There's potential here. Give me a transforming Sin to Omega, right? Dokkan Fest. Maybe a Part 2 LR Super Baby 2, or a Dokkan Fest Super Baby 2, either way. Or an LR transforming Sin to Omega. Again, we need transforming Sin to Omega. We need a new Dokkan Fest Super Baby 2, right? And give me a couple decent, like, either free-to-play or banner characters of the other Shadow Dragons, and the GT Bosses team is legitimately powerful now. If I had AGL Rildo, I would be running him right now, and he is another unit that's really, really strong. Doesn't he also lower attack, AGL Rildo? Yeah, and he lowers attack by 20%. He would be perfect on this team, buffing both of the Omegas, buffing Baby, and it would just work. How much damage does this do? Nothing. And we're out. We catch the dough. We don't even revive. It just is what it is. Omega is really strong in very specific circumstances, and I am so happy to be able to say that. He did just return on the Christmas Carnival, so if you did pick him up there when you were trying to get the trio Super Saiyans, please run him in here. You won't be upset. This is a solid team, right? It needs help. It desperately needs help, and Omega is not strong enough to carry it by himself with him and Baby. It's just not enough, right? Give them more support. I mean, again, Metal Rildo is really, really strong. I just don't have him. But I think this team can definitely cook. It just needs a couple more units, and I think Omega would probably even have contention for one of the best units in the entire game with how his kit is designed. It's just the fact that he's locked to this team that they refuse to give decent buffs to. Anyway, that is the no item run. Let me know how you guys feel about this hard event content in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.